All right, Mayor. When we talked last night live at the scene, you said, I'm pissed off. I think that really stuck with me. It really stuck with Dawn. And we were talking about it afterwards, and I think it really encapsulated the moment and, the reality of the situation. You weren't hiding from it. You're not trying to make it seem like something it's not. I'm curious as to how, as this time has developed, as we've gotten farther away from it and the investigation has developed, how you're feeling now.
It was a long night, Tyler. As you know, we were there late into the night and early into the morning. Another senseless act of violence. And when I kind of gone over the preliminary investigatory findings, the findings were young people who should be um, living the best years of their lives, preparing to make a positive mark on our society, people who should be able to grow up to be old like me and have families and have good jobs and businesses but contribute positively to our community. To see them throwing their lives away with this type of foolishness certainly upsets me.
You mentioned the preliminary findings of the investigation. What can you share with us about those?
Well, I'm going to defer to the police department to give specifics, but we know that there were juveniles involved and juveniles that were injured. And we know that there are charges that are being brought forth, and I'll wait until those charges have been levied. And we're looking to seeing if we can elevate any of these charges either now or later to the federal realm because there might be some federal violations in there as well. This is something that we are taking absolutely seriously. We have a zero tolerance for, and I want to make sure that we show these young people and any others following them the consequences of their actions.
Are you able to say at this point if these folks who you know about being involved, if they're repeat offenders or not, if they've been let out on previous charges?
I'll leave that to the police, but I would, you know, dare to say that some are probably known to us. Again, it's a revolving door that we don't control. We want to make sure that individuals that are engaged in violent crime are sent away from our community for a very long time. We have to be very clear about that. There has to be clear consequences to daily actions.
That obviously is the prosecution side of things. The district attorney holding a press conference this morning. In that, she mentioned that you all have had conversations together. Is that something you've been a part of, or have you not experienced those kinds of conversations at this point?
I have not spoken to the district attorney since this last incident happened.
Okay. As we talk about the kind of the cycle of these people being known to us, last night we were talking, and the police chief said, we haven't made any arrests, but there was no threat to the public. Can you try to clarify how that's possible for us?
Well, I mean, I think that there's always a threat to the general public as long as individuals that are committing violent crimes are on the streets. There is no immediate threat. I think he was talking about the immediate threat as it relates to that particular situation. We make comments in the time in which we live. We were living this out in real time. People were wondering, were the individuals involved in this an immediate threat to anyone in the mall or surrounding communities? The answer will be no. Going further and extrapolating that, as long as they're on our streets, and as long as they're not brought to accountability and to justice, as far as we're all concerned, they're a threat to our community. I don't care whose son it is, whose child it is, whose grandchild, a nephew that's involved. As long as they engage in gunplay in our city, they're a threat to our community.
Do you kind of see, I mean, does that confusion ring a little bit with you as well? Do you see where we were like questioning as to how that could be the case if these folks, haven't been arrested, they are on the streets, they're known to commit violence, and people who were just in the mall were put in danger? How would it be possible then for, the rest of the community, if those folks haven't been arrested, to feel safe?
I think you have to give the police chief and people like us that are dealing with it in real time some grace. The reality is you're asking the questions for people who are not only trying to give information, but also doing their best to be able to deal with the matter at hand. Again, as you out there, you saw it was touch and go. We had large numbers of police officers with heavy duty artillery going through this building. We're still we're trying to reunite people with their families, frightened store employees trying to get back to their stores where they left everything. So again, I think it was really engaged and involved. But even before this, uh, any individual of any unsolved gun crime in our community is a threat to our community. So we should always be vigilant, not only here but anywhere across the country. The reality is, as long as you have illegal guns in our community, as long as we have individuals that have chosen to deal with disagreement through violence, we're always going to be at some level of risk. Do I feel safe in the city? Of course I do. Should people in our city feel safe? Of course they should. We do also know that these shootings are not um, random shootings. They're targeted by individuals who know each other, they have beef with each other. And so, as long as you're not one of those individuals, then you're pretty okay.
And unfortunately, last night, those individuals decided to take it out on each other in one of our most public spaces, putting everyone else there at risk, obviously, and not allowing them to be okay.
And you know what? And I thank God, because we could have easily be having this conversation talking about, um, three people dead by gunshot wounds and three people dead from medical emergencies. We're not talking about that. So we count our blessings where they are. But again, my goal right now, my singular goal, and I know the police officers as well, to make sure that those three individuals, um, or the three plus individuals who are involved, that they are thoroughly investigated and, if applicable, aptly charged.
I know one of the things we're hearing a lot from viewers, and I'm sure you're hearing from constituents, is the fear of gangs. And when we say these people are known to each other and they're known to commit violence, there can be that question that's come up that we've gotten asked to ask you. So, is there any indication about the potential involvement of gangs in this shooting?
I think for us, it's premature. I think people like to be able to say gangs, because it's like a catch-all. There are very clear legal descriptions of gangs. And because someone might be gang affiliated doesn't mean that the action was gang involved. And so I think that requires some investigative product to be completed. And I mean, if this gang involved, then we'll say that it's gang involved. I think it's easy just to say it's a gang, it's a gang, it's a gang. We have gang challenges here like they do everywhere else. We'll call it the way we see it. Our goal is to call balls and strikes. If the individuals are gang affiliated, we'll say that. If the incident was gang involved, we'll say that as well. And if it is a gang involved incident, it might allow us some additional charging opportunities under state law. So again, we don't want to hide anything. We want to be able just to tell the truth and call it what it is. Either way it goes, if it is gang affiliated or gang involved, then we know we have family members of those gang affiliated or gang involved people in our community. And if you love them, get them out of that life. We know where that life leads.
Yeah, not to a good place. There are
No.
obviously at this point in time, we have confirmed two people shot who are also charged with possession of a firearm under the age of 18. Are you aware? Are they looking for other people actively right now?
Again, the police have not released that information, so I'll allow them to release officially who's been charged. Again, there might be other charges. Matter of fact, I'm certain that there will be. And we will make sure anybody that's involved with this, directly or vicariously, I want them charged.
Anything else you want to add here, Mayor? Any kind of message to people of Savannah?
I think again for us, it's unfortunate. People have blamed me for this. I mean, again, I ain't shoot nobody, and no kid of mine shot anybody. If you love your kids, you especially those younger ones, engage in ways of helping them save their lives. We know that that life leads either to the jailhouse or to the cemetery, and we don't want our young people being in either. So we continue our full court press, but they were no children of mine, or no young people I'm affiliated with. We all have to be able to do what we can to get people out of that lifestyle. It doesn't lead anywhere good.
And just so you know, just as we did last night on the air, I literally just got a text that says no minors are charged any longer. SPD just confirming that to us apparently.
Yeah. So
So
again, that's why. Yeah, that's why if you notice, I have not wanted
yeah,
to, definitively say anything because I heard the same thing you've heard, and I just say until it's from an official release from Chief Gunther, the police department, then I'm not going to speculate. I'll let them do their job.
100%. And we'll try to as well, Mayor. I appreciate you, one, making time for us last night, two, making time for us today, three, all the while standing up to the difficult questions that it's our job to ask. Always appreciate your transparency and your time.